pre-need funerals, burials, or cremation since 1975. Curtis & Son Funeral Home, Sylacauga, Childersburg. Funeral service for Eunice Grace Brooks, age 89 of Sylacauga, will be this morning at 11 a.m. from Curtis & Son North, with Reverend Shane Pate officiating. Burial in the Evergreen Cemetery. Visitation prior to the service, 10 until 11 a.m., also at the North Chapel. Mrs. Brooks was a member of the Living Waters Church of God of Prophecy and worked many years at Sears. Online condolences at curtissonsonfh.com. Curtis & Son Funeral Home, North Chapel, directing Mrs. Brooks died on Tuesday at Coosa Valley Medical Center. Memorial service for Mrs. Bertha Stiers will be Saturday at 1 o'clock in Curtis & Son North. Burial in the Evergreen Cemetery. Visitation prior to the memorial service from noon until 1 at Curtis & Son North. Curtis & Son Funeral Home, North Chapel, directing. Funeral service for Mr. Leroy Bassett Jr., age 79, will be today at 2 p.m. from Curtis & Son Funeral Home, Childersburg Chapel, with burial in the burial in Green Hill Cemetery. Online condolences at curtissonsonfunerals.com. Mr. Bassett died on September 9th at Grandview Medical Center in Birmingham. Curtis & Son Funeral Home, Childersburg Chapel, directing. Funeral service for Claudia Denise Scott, age 59 of Childersburg, will be today at 11 o'clock from the chapel of Radley Smith Funeral Home. Brother David Vick officiating. Burial in the Green Hill Cemetery. Mrs. Scott died September the 11th at her residence. Visitation was held last night. Memorial messages may be sent to the family at radleysmith.com. Mrs. Scott was a member of the Calvary Baptist Church in Childersburg. Radley Smith Funeral Home directing. And funeral service for Thomas Goose Reynolds, age 67 of Sylacauga, is today at 1 o'clock from the chapel of Radley Smith Funeral Home. Reverend Tommy Thornton officiating. Burial in the Evergreen Cemetery. Mr. Reynolds died on Tuesday, September 12th. Visitation prior to the service today, noon until 1 at the funeral home. Memorial messages may be sent to the family at radleysmith.com. Radley Smith Funeral Home in Sylacauga directing. Goose Reynolds was a graduate of B.B. Comer High School and a member of the lone basketball state championship team in B.B. Comer Tiger history in 1968. Goose Reynolds was a center for that B.B. Comer basketball team, and he passed away and left us way too soon. Personal loss, Thomas Goose Reynolds, age 67. He will be remembered today at 1 o'clock from Radley Smith Funeral Home Chapel. Funeral service for Ms. Glenda Hope Alexander, age 74 of Alexander City, is Friday at 3 o'clock at Radley Funeral Home. The Reverend J. Burkhalter officiating. Burial in the Fellowship Cemetery. The family receiving friends tonight, 5 until 8 at the funeral home. Miss Alexander died Tuesday at her residence. Memorial messages may be sent to the family at radleyfuneralhome.com. Radley Funeral Home directing. Funeral service for Mrs. Geraldine S. Honey Habinsky, age 92 of Alexander City and formerly Montgomery, will be Friday at 11 o'clock from St. John the Apostle Catholic Church in Alexander City. Father Peter Reddy will officiate. Burial in the cemetery in Montgomery at 2 o'clock. The family will receive friends Friday from 10 until service time at St. John the Apostle Catholic Church in Alexander City. Mrs. Habinsky died Wednesday, September 13th at Russell Medical Center. Memorial messages may be sent to the family at radleyfuneralhome.com. Radley Funeral Home directing. Funeral service for Mr. Dino Patrick Vapella, age 68, is Friday at 11 o'clock from Radley Funeral Home. Randy Anderson officiating. Family receiving friends tonight, 6 until 8 at the funeral home. Mr. Vapella died on Monday, September the 11th at UAB in Birmingham. Memorial messages may be sent to the family at radleyfuneralhome.com. In lieu of flowers, memorials can be made to the Double D Animal Rescue in Jackson's Gap, Alabama. Radley Funeral Home directing. Susan Bolton Lambert, age 47 of Alexander City, died September the 8th. A memorial service will be held today at 4 o'clock from Hillaby Baptist Church in Alexander City. And Raymond Anthony Hendrick, age 85, of Talladega, died September 13th at his residence. Funeral service will be held 3 o'clock Friday at Ursery Funeral Home in Talladega. Johnny Jones and grandson Andy Hartsfield will officiate. Burial in the Midway Memory Gardens. The family will receive friends 1 hour prior to the service. Mr. Hendrick was a native of Alpine and lived most of his life in Talladega. He was retired from Floyd and Beasley Trucking Company and a longtime member of the Claire Purcell United Methodist Church. In lieu of flowers, donations can be made to the Claire Purcell United Methodist Church, 114 Shields Drive in Talladega, Alabama. Online condolences at urseryfuneralhome.com. Ursery Funeral Home in Talladega in charge of the arrangements. These obituaries brought to you by Curtis & Son Funeral Home, the North Chapel on Highway 21 in Sylacauga, and the Childersburg Chapel on Highway 280 in Childersburg. 256-245-4361 for pre-need funerals, burials, or cremation since 1975. Curtis & Son Funeral Home, Sylacauga, Childersburg.